Welcome back to KP's Kingdom, Cooking with KP, and today I'm going to show you how I make my traditional style lasagna. Alright, let's get on with it. So I've got two 400 gram cans or tins of diced tomato. I'm going to put those into a nice little vessel like that, and I'm going to use my stick mixer to blend all that tomato up and make my own passata. Now you can buy passata from the store if you like. It's going to cost you about $5, maybe $7 depending on the brand. You can make this passata at home for only about $2, and you know what's in it. A little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the pan, two finely diced onions are going to go in, and we want to saute those off. We want to get those nice and soft. Alright, so just stir those around, and I'm also going to add in two carrots that I've finely diced, really nice and fine, very important. So all we're going to do, get those onions until they're translucent, get those little bits of carrot just sweating off, just to start the basis of our beautiful sauce. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 1 kilo of ground meat. Now you can use the ground meat of your choice. You could use beef or pork, it'd be great with pork. In this case I'm using turkey, and the reason I use turkey is I've got a bit of an iron problem. I can't eat that much beef, and I've got to be careful as to how much pork I eat as well. So we want to break all that mince up, all that ground meat up nice and fine, and we're going to add in our passata at this point. Don't worry about browning that meat off. We're going to do a nice low and slow cook on this sauce. Alright, so as you can see, we can start mixing all of that ground meat in through with that passata, with that tomato base that we just made, and that's going to help break down the meat. We want a nice fine sort of style sauce. We don't want too many chunks in that at all. Just add a little bit of water in, maybe a cup and a half, and that's going to help break all that meat down as well. As you can see, it's almost turned into a soup on its own. Alright, at this point I'm going to add in a total of 6 tablespoons of tomato paste concentrate. Right, lots of it, and that's going to give you a really nice heavy tomato flavour, and it's exactly what we want here. We want to get that tomato flavour to scream through. We want it to really shine. So we add that in, and I'm also going to add in 250 grams of finely diced up mushroom, and that's going to help add more flavour to the bottom as well. Now, nice big healthy dose of freshly ground black pepper that's going in, and don't worry, if you want to try this with turkey, it does work. I'm going to show you a couple of tricks for this. Equivalent to 3 cloves of garlic. I'm using my garlic paste as per usual. I'm also going to add in a couple of tablespoons of mixed Italian herbs, just dried Italian herbs. We're going to cook this sauce off for at least an hour. We want to get a good flavour on that. Around about 3/4 of a glass of red wine of your choice, and this is where we really get our flavour from. I'm going to add in 2 big heaped teaspoons, you might as well call them tablespoons, of beef bouillon powder, and that's going to give it a really nice beefy flavour. And where we are in Australia, we've got this magic product that is all vegetable or plant based, and they don't use any beef stock at all. They don't reduce that down too much and make a powder out of it. So look, we're cooking this off for an hour. Look at that, it's starting to look really good. We want this sauce to be nice and thin. We don't want it to be too thick, so make sure you keep stirring it through. Once that's done, take it off and put it to the side, and we'll get on with our next step. And our next step is going to be to make our bechamel sauce. So, little saucepan there, I'm going to add in about 30 grams of butter. I prefer just to use salted butter, but if you want to use unsalted, you can. And we want to melt that down, and into that I'm going to add around about 3/4 of a cup of just plain flour, and then we're going to make a roux. So what we need to do is get that flour to absorb all of that butter, and we want to cook that flour off for at least 45 seconds, maybe to a minute and a half. Just keep stirring that through, and that will absorb everything, and we want to cook that flour flavour out of that roux. Alright, so keep stirring it through, and make sure you've got some milk ready to go as well. add a little bit of milk in, and we're going to stir, and that flour is going to absorb all of that milk quite quickly and make a paste. And once it starts to make a paste, we then can add a little bit more milk, and we gradually add a bit of milk, we give it a stir, comes to a paste, we'll add a little bit more milk, and we'll stir, and it'll come to a paste, and you get the gist of it. Now, if you add too much milk, you will end up with lumps, but don't worry, I'm going to show you a way to get rid of the lumps. It's not a professional way to do things, but it is a workaround on how to end up with a beautiful, smooth bechamel sauce, and that is to use a whisk. Now, the whisk is going to help break down those flour lumps and help incorporate it into our sauce. So, once again, we'll stir, we'll wait for it to thicken up a little bit, and we'll add more milk, and we'll continue on until we are done. In total, I probably would have used close to a litre of milk for this. Now, there's a couple of little lumps there, but don't worry, that'll blend out very shortly, and we want to thicken our sauce up now. And the way I want to thicken my sauce is to use cheese. I've also added in a little bit of nutmeg, ground nutmeg there. So here I'm adding some Parmesan cheese. The first cheese I used was just a grated tasty cheese. I add the Parmesan cheese in to give it a little bit of a salt factor and a little bit more of that bite, and we just keep adding our cheese until we end up with a beautiful, nice, thick sauce. You can start to see that sauce starting to thicken up now. You'll start to see little lines coming off the back of the whisk if you look carefully, and there you go. With bechamel sauce is done. Right, so here I've got a nice big casserole type pan or baking tray or baking dish, that's the right word, a baking dish, and I've sprayed that with some spray oil, and we can start layering down our first layer, which is going to be some of our meat sauce. And we just want a nice thin layer of that, and that's going to protect the bottom of our pan. Now we're going to add our lasagna sheets straight on top. I am using a different brand of lasagna sheet that I'm used to, and I'm not going to bag the brand, but I was not happy with it. It seemed to be very dry, it seemed to stay wrinkled. It just did not want to behave itself much at all. So if you find yourself a lasagna brand that you like, use it, you get used to it. But anyway, now we can sprinkle over or layer over our bechamel sauce. We just want a nice little layer of that all the way over our lasagna sheets, and that's going to help cook down our lasagna sheets as well. Alright, now we're going to add in our meat sauce once again. Just a nice thin layer, and once again with our lasagna sheets. Now you can use a dry lasagna sheet, just read the instructions on the back of the packet. I haven't done that for maybe 15 years. So once again, layer up your bechamel sauce, layer up the meat, very, very nice and easy, and layer up your lasagna sheets, and try and get them trimmed. But this particular brand that I bought actually curled up from underneath the sauce. I was not very happy with it, but anyway, I've used a little bit of water there just to try and help that lasagna sheet sort of loosen up and settle down a little bit. It didn't really work as well as I thought it would, but anyway, so this is our final layer. We're going to layer up some the last of our bechamel sauce straight on top, and there you go. Oven sitting at 180 degrees. I'm going to put that into the oven for around about 45 minutes to an hour, or until it's cooked and goes nice and golden brown like that on top. How good does that look? Sorry about that little bit of burnt stuff around the edge. As I said, brand new version of, or brand new product that I was using as far as our lasagna sheets was concerned. Alright, but anyway, I'd like to see you try and make this. Time to serve up. Just get yourself a nice big barbecue spatula, and we can serve that in a nice big bowl like that. How easy was that? Love to see you try and make this one at home, as I said before. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, hit that like button. It gives me confidence. Should make you feel warm and fuzzy too. Hit that notifications bell. You'll be notified every time a new video goes up. Well, so YouTube's been saying. But more importantly, I want you to come and join the family. My family. Hit that subscribe button and you'll never miss another one of my videos again. I will catch you next time. Bye!